Ale tylko miałem dużego kebaba, ja miałem średni kebab, to wiesz.
Welcome back to the 21 Convention 2019 of Warsaw, Poland. Our next speaker is a returning speaker to the 21 Convention stage, this being his third time here now in Warsaw, Poland. Over 55 million women from around the world love this man for teaching them how to be beautiful. Without further ado, please let me welcome to the stage the panty-dropping, Chad Jesus, master of disaster, Alexander J.A Cortes!
All right, gentlemen, let me give my thanks to Anthony first off for creating this whole event, creating this whole continuum. So the manosphere is in something, I'm just going to launch into this. The manosphere is in something of a liminal state right now. You've heard everyone else speak, and I don't want to give a rehashed presentation of how we got here. I think at this stage of the game, you men that are here, you're very self-aware. You have some sense of how society has arrived into the place that it's in. So what I want to focus on and sort of broaden is when we talk about using red pill, when we talk about essentially trying to be a man that succeeds in the world, what are we really aiming for and how do we establish ourselves in relationship with reality itself? So I call that the ascendant man. Man is always going to be something that's aspirational. We're always trying to improve ourselves. We're always trying to be better. Now we're at a state currently where, it's like half face. So we have to deal with this kind of guy on a daily basis. And this is kind of the state of Western man, which is basically just a defective faggot, to be very politically correct. This is what we're dealing with. This is, I won't say the enemy, but this is basically your standard Western man. And he's emasculated, he's neutered. Everyone hates him, but he's useful because he's a cog in the machine. This is the current state of Europe. So you all got fucking sold out by your leaders, certainly in Western Europe. Central and Eastern, not really, but Western Europe, this is the state it's in. Yeah, it's bad. This is the state of modern Western woman. She will ride the cock carousel 10,000 times. There is no sense of shame. There is no sense of dignity. There is no really sense of self-respect. Everything goes because everything's equal. This is a bell curve. And I bring this out because despite everything that's happened, human behavior still falls on a scale. It's very common in the male space where because of the overemphasis, I think, on hypergamy, the overemphasis on sort of the evils of human beings, we get into the state of all women are whores, we're all going to get screwed over because that's how it works. The reality is that human beings, our behavior always falls on a spectrum. What I've seen in the sexual marketplace today, you have women where this is sort of like the 10,000 cock carousel of bad women, bad girls. Then you have the good girls over here, and it goes in a wave. And it's a very fat tail distribution. Historically, it would have been pushed more this way. Now it's very spread out. So you need to have a sense of awareness about you when you're navigating the sexual marketplace as to what are you getting yourself into. You don't want to make a bad decision. Technology has had this effect of diluting both masculinity and femininity. This is by H.R. Geiger, sort of techno-modern art. We're all fed into the hyper-capitalized machine at this point. Everybody is. You are a cog in the machine. You are something to be taxed. You are something to be extracted from. You are something to be sold to. You are made to consume and consume and consume and consume. And you will do this the day you die. How do you break out of that? You can step back from it, but you're not going to go start a new civilization on your own. But it's good to be aware of it. This is the molecule testosterone. Testosterone levels have plummeted somewhere around 30, 40% for Western man in the last 40 years. Why? Environmental estrogens, obesity, lack of exercise. I think birth control, compounded over like second, third order effects, has had an effect. Maybe not. Solar radiation has dropped the last few years. Solar radiation goes in a cycle. When there's more solar radiation, basically from the sun, testosterone levels go up. When there's less, it goes down. So we're all affected by all these things. What can we do? We can attend to our health, but we can only do so much relative to ourselves. Man has two things he needs to be able to do. These are your two basic things. Biological necessity. You need to be able to protect yourself. Flat out, if you don't protect yourself, you're dead. Game's over. Every man that's born on this earth from 5 million BC till now, you need to be able to protect yourself. And Donovan's, his tactical virtues really derive from that. If you can protect yourself, you can provide for yourself because you have a means to act upon the world. You have strength, you have force. This is the primordial battle. This is a great movie, great red pill movie, you want to call it that. What's it called? Into the Gray? But yeah, The Gray, thank you. But this is Liam Neeson, and he's fighting against nature. He's fighting against nature, and nature wins. And that's the fundamental battle. And historically speaking, women loved men who were fucking violent, and they still do. Women love men who are violent. Women love men who can fight against nature because that makes things safe. That makes things safe. That provides security. Women will always love violent men. If you want to hack right now from the whole presentation as to how to be better with women and to just be a better man, go learn violence. Go learn how to shoot, go learn how to fight, go get hit in the face, and have that sense that you are dangerous. That will automatically upgrade your life on every level. Just do that. I could say nothing else but that, but do that. We all look up to this man because this man, he is warring against nature, he's warring against man. He might be in a battle against himself, and this is sort of the hierarchy, the classical hierarchy, as I call it, of man's conflicts. We start off in nature, we conquer nature. Then it's man against man, and we start killing each other. And then we sort of get man against himself, and then we get a level of philosophy, we get a level of extrapolation. We get the Greeks, we get the Romans, we get, you could say even, classical, or ancient Chinese. You get all these philosophies where people start thinking about the world and what it means. But we can't think, we can't have these higher virtues unless we are stable, safe first. And then when we're at where we are today is that we're at man versus woman, or woman versus man, where because we're in a hyper-capitalized techno-corporate world where everybody works and everybody gets taxed and everybody has skin in the game, everybody competes with each other. So there's no longer the conventional, classical, natural separation between man and between women. Everyone's just thrown into the pit together. The Way of Men, and I just want to give credit for Donovan for just helping me think about this stuff a few years ago. For all of you guys who have not read his book, read his books. He goes into that much more than myself. Your grandfather and your ancestors didn't need red pill. So this has been an argument that's swirled around myself. Is Ajax red pill? Is he not red pill? I base my beliefs on reality. Red pill, foundationally, fundamentally, is based upon reality. We have men that exist in states of delusion. They break out of that delusion. They realize that their prior beliefs were painful. We have that, today, not because it's top down, because red pill is what we relied upon for thousands of years, but because we've had men that have to take a step back and see the world and realize, shit is fucked up. So it's a top-down effect. And not all of it's Lindy in the sense that it's all proven out. Historically, red pill was just called reality. And in violent, natural, conservative, traditional, whatever you want to call it, cultures, women expect men to act like men. The Polish women here expect the men to act like men, more or less. If you go to Romania, you expect the men to act like men. You go to anywhere in Eastern Europe, men act like men. You go to South America, you go to Mexico, men act like men. It's a given. You don't need to tell a guy, hey, a woman expects you to lead. They want to do that already, and the woman, she's going to make you do that. She'll bust your balls if you don't do that. But we live in a Western world, and things are confused. We don't have that kind of intersexual cooperation. We have competition. Now, this is one of the aspirations a lot of guys aspire to, and rightly so. Men want to fuck a lot of women. We have, hypergamy. Women want to fuck tall guys, basically. They're violent. That's hypergamy in a nutshell. Women just want to fuck a lot of women. Men want to fuck a lot of women. Excuse me. Some women want to fuck women too. That's great. Okay. Now, here's the thing, though. If you make this your goal, historically, you got this because you either killed a lot of guys, or you had an army that killed a lot of guys, and you won. You were at the very top of the pyramid. Very few men historically had this. And this is a lot of fucking work to manage. In ancient China, Genghis Khan, he had all these concubines. That's a very historical thing in India, in Japan, and all these countries. How did they protect their harems? How did they keep these women from getting fucked by other men? They had eunuchs. They had men they'd cut their balls off. And those ballless men were responsible for making sure the women didn't get fucked by other men. And I bring this up because, yes, sexual abundance is fucking awesome. We all in a fantasy world, if we could just fuck everything every day, isn't that great? Men that do that don't actually produce anything past a certain point. We have sex. We're driven by sex, yes. We're also driven by the means to produce. We're also driven by the desire to protect. We're also driven by the desire to be amongst other men and have camaraderie. Men like to build shit. Men like to create shit. So we have these instincts, and it's all part of our biology, and it's not just this. This is an aspect of it, but it's not the whole thing. We also have this instinct, which is called pair bonding, which I use the term dyadic. A dyad is two people that cooperate and get along. Men like to have friends. We all want a bro, we want a best friend. Men like to bond with women. We might fuck it up, we might want to cheat, we might want to go fuck other women, but we actually like having a person that we feel we're invested in. And we can't get away from that. This is from India, and I forget the couple's names, but basically the builder of the Taj Mahal, he was the emperor of India. He had 3 wives. He had one that he had 14 children with, which was this woman. He had 2 other wives. He had 1 kid with them, and then basically said, fuck off, I won't have to deal with you anymore. And then he built that for her when she died. And I've always found this interesting because this is a man who, you could say, oh, that's fucking blue pill. This guy was literally the richest man in the world with the biggest army in the world, and his crowning achievement was the thing that he built for his dead wife. I guess he loved her. You know, what a bitch. We have to take a step back from this material sometimes that de-emphasizes romance. People like to be romantic because love makes things good. You can't have love in the world if things are shitty. You know, when we go out and we kill, we create stability, we have a village, we produce all these things. We do so we can enjoy ourselves. We have Bible, Song of Solomon. This is basically just the whole thing on how to love a woman, how a woman should love a man. So being pair bonded, that's a very ancient idea. Men are both things. We can be pair bonded, we can have a harem, we can have something in between. We have a whole spectrum of being that is available to us. So you get to pick and choose what you want to be. You have that destiny, and it's in your hands. This is a village. This takes work to build, obviously. This village, there's probably not a guy with a harem. There's probably a bunch of couples. This is the historical model that is bottoms up, where for most of human history in most places, this is what works best. Now, we have screwed this up in a lot of ways, but everyone kind of wishes to get back from this, back to this. I said yesterday or a few days ago, the American dream now is to not have to participate in the American dream. That's the dream now. It's to fuck off. I won't have to fucking work for corporate culture. I won't have to sit at a desk. I just want to go have land and have a wife and chickens and cattle and have some tradcon woman, and I don't have to deal with any of this shit. Yeah, that's the dream now. Yeah, that was reality then. You know, now it's sort of this ideal. You know, which again goes to show you how far we've gone sideways of our being. So, you know, beyond red pill. This is the fundamental stuff that I think it's, you know, sort of overlooked or just overcomplicated. Men no longer understand women because men no longer understand themselves. Men that are violent, that lead, that are strong, that don't compromise, that push back, that create tension, they don't struggle with women too much. They'll have, maybe they'll still get cheated on because whatever. Maybe they'll get into arguments. But when I think of someone like my father's family, like, you know, especially his backside, they all love women and they had great relationships their whole life because they acted like men. They were men. If finding out that women like tall men who can fucking fight was surprising to you, you've got bigger problems than women. Yeah, and this is why, you know, again, the thing with the hypergamy. Why is that shocking? Why is that surprising? Why? Women want men who can compete. If women literally fucked anyone that was interested in them, you'd have no incentive to do fucking anything. Hey, I'm 5'6", I'm 40% body fat. You want to fuck me? Yeah, okay. That's hell. That's literally living in hell. Or maybe that's porn that someone gets off on. I don't know. Yeah, women love capable men. Violence beats height. And I say this because I always get annoyed when people will tell me something like, oh, well, you're attractive, you're tall. Women like tall guys. Yeah, you're playing on easy mode. No, I'm playing on easy mode because I act like a man. I know men who are MMA fighters who are 5'5". They get all the pussy they want. I have best friends of mine who are 5'1", and their wife is 5'7". And apparently a woman wanted to fuck them despite them being short. But you know what? They act like men. So the woman doesn't give a shit. Height is only a problem if you make it a problem. So that's an excuse that guys like to use. Women rely on men to make life good. Traditionally, that requires, again, violence. This is where we get into the nature of women and nature of men. Violence is explicit. It's seen, it's witnessed, it's visceral, you can feel it, it's painful, it takes things apart. Men fight and women watch men fight. Women watch you all the time. Men are explicit. We explain things, we want to use words, we want to be logical. Women are implicit. They watch, they observe, and then when they have your ear, then they know how to manipulate you. Why is that? Because